Hi, wanted to make a video to show our guests how to use our Breville espresso makers. They can make espresso and an Americano in the morning. This is what it looks like. The main components are up here are the whole coffee beans stored up here. This should last you a very long time, but if it does run out, we have additional coffee beans located below in this airtight container. This back portion here is where the water is located. You can pull this entire component out and refill it with the filtered water in the refrigerator, or you can use the Pyrex or another glass and fill it with water and pour it into there, but that's where the water is located. This is the portafilter here, and this is the filter basket. It pops into this and is used together. They separate when you clean them, but during the day when you're making coffee, they stay together like this. And you're gonna need one glass Pyrex for what we're doing today. And this is called a tamper, and it is held here in this little magnetic holder. So to get started, you power on the espresso machine. Then you take the portafilter with the basket enclosed and put it into this holder right here. And then you press it in one single time, and it will ground the fresh coffee for you. Once it's finished, kind of like to move it around a little bit so the coffee settles. Pull it out carefully. You'll see there's a lot of leftover coffee that's spilling out. And then you take the tamper and you push it down. And then the excess amounts you can just knock off over here in this knock box. You know you've got a good amount of espresso in there and you've tamped it down appropriately when the tamper's metal edge is hidden by the rim of the portafilter basket. So you press it with a fair amount of force, and then it should look something like that. And when you're done there, you go over to this side, put the portafilter in at this angle over here, and then you lock it in by pushing to the right. Once it's locked in, you put the Pyrex underneath like this. I'm going to show you how to make an Americano. Technically with an Americano, you're supposed to add the hot water first and then the espresso on top, but just for ease of use, I'm going to do the espresso first today for you. So to start the espresso, you push this button right here. It's the double espresso shot because that's the portafilter basket we've used. You know you've got the right amount of grounds in the coffee and that you've tamped it properly when the red bar right here goes into the middle part of the espresso range, just like that. So that's a perfect amount of pressure for a proper espresso. And you can see it coming out there. Very foamy, perfect, lots of crema. So that's just espresso there. You could drink that espresso just like that if you want. We have espresso cups in the cabinet, but if you want to make an Americano, which most people do because it's similar to an American drip coffee, you then add hot water. The hot water dial is over here on the right. You turn it on by pulling to the right. And when you do that, it goes through a cycle and adds 8 ounces, and then it automatically shuts off. We like our espresso to be on the kind of moderate side, not too weak, not too strong. So we end up doing 2 different runs of 8 ounces, which is 16 ounces. So this is how you turn on the hot water, this tab right here to the right, and then it adds the hot water into here. This first run will go and we'll add 8 ounces. When the first run is finished, you turn off the dial and then you turn it back on to start the second 8-ounce run. When that's finished, you turn the hot water back off here, and you've got all of this Americano. Should be about 2 or 3 cups of coffee that you can pour in, depending on how much coffee you like. When you want to make another cup, or another pot, I should say, you unlock the portafilter here, and then go over to this. This is called a knock box. You hit the portafilter on this bar in the knock box here to get rid of the used grounds. And then you can just start over again wipe it off a little bit, start over again, and ground coffee right away. At the end of the day, you should clean all the components, otherwise they get mucked up and can clog the system. So you have to separate the basket back from the portafilter, rinse these both off separately, wipe this all down, put this gray towel in the hamper and pull out another towel for the next day, rinse off the Pyrex, and you're good to go.